bringing Mark and Bob back into the conversation now. Mark, for you, what did you make of McIlroy's performance at the RBC Canadian Open?
I thought he had another nice weekend, Adam. A kind of a backdoor finish again for Rory, guys. We can't ignore the fact that after Friday, he put himself really behind the eight ball in this championship. But you can't take that away from what he did on Saturday and Sunday, making that huge push. And kind of almost got into the movie very late on the weekend. But I think we're ignoring a huge problem here, guys. I mean, on Friday, he was 80th in the field in strokes gained off the tee. 80th. We go back to Augusta National and the Masters in a field where he's really only competing against 60 players. Anything over and above 60 typically is almost there in a ceremonial capacity. On what is a fairly easy driving golf course, Augusta, Rory McIlroy was nowhere near the top 15 in strokes gained off the tee. So I'm not too sure what's going on with the driver here. If Rory's going to end the major drought, he's got to live inside the top 5 in strokes gained off the tee. Historically speaking, in the last decade, he's lived inside the top 3 in that category. So I guess my point, guys, is there's no point cleaning up the short irons and cleaning up the putting and getting it to a point where you can win a big tournament again if you're going to let your number one tool in the tool chest go sideways on you.
Yeah, Mark, it's a good point. It's really hard to believe that McIlroy hasn't won a major since 2014. Bob, you followed Rory inside the ropes through a lot of his rounds at the RBC Canadian Open. You heard the reception he received. Should we just call McIlroy an honorary Canadian at this point? What do you think?
Well, he certainly was the most popular, far and away the most popular player in the field this week, and I think Canadians even included perhaps at some point. But, I think he's embraced it. He's very welcoming with the crowd. He loves the crowd. They love him. And, you go to a lot of tournaments and you hear them players say great things about the crowd. But, and you don't really maybe understand or believe it always. But when Rory's talking about it, there seems to be a genuine appreciation for what's going on. They're very kind to him at the rink hole. They didn't have to be. They could have done a few things. They did a few things when he wasn't there. But I think he likes coming to Canada. He likes the atmosphere. He had a good time. I mean, he did an RBC day on a Tuesday. He went out to dinner with Keith Pelley, the former president of the DP World Tour, now the head of MLSE. He's got a lot of connections in the Toronto area and in the greater Golden Horseshoe area, I guess. So I think that's important for him to come back and play these tournaments. And as you heard in that little clip before, he said, I'm going to keep coming back as long as they'll let me in the country, which, I mean, if you're Golf Canada and RBC, you got to be over the moon with that statement.
McIlroy's played in the RBC Canadian Open 4 times. He has 2 wins and 2 other top 10 finishes.